Dave, can you tell me the most wild, crazy client story that you've had thus far with all the clients?
I mean, think deep on this one. You got lots of years experience.
I'll just tell you, we were at an apartment complex in Pontiac. I'll preface this, but I've worked for years in Detroit, all over Detroit, West Side, South Side, East Side. You name a side, I've been in Detroit working. We were at an apartment complex in Pontiac, and a robbery happened in the unit next door to where the unit we were painting. I was 2 doors down, I had a painter in the one unit, and all of a sudden gunshots go off. My guy runs out to the stoop and looking around, and a dude comes out the unit with the ski mask on and puts the gun in his face. And he just dropped his paint, and then all of a sudden him and 2 other guys ran out of that unit, ran down the parking lot, and jumped a 10-foot brick wall. They put a gun in Sergio's face before they ran away.
We didn't do our video.
I know.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Real People in Real Estate Podcast, where we talk about the real shit and not about real estate. I'm one of your hosts, Brooke Jones, aka the Millennial Agent.
What's up, guys? It's your girl, Tyra Nicole.
And I am Nicole Pay. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight we have Mr. Dave Barrett, owner and CEO of Detroit Go Nano and Barwood. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you all for having me here.
So excited. So give us just a little background on Detroit Go Nano and Barwood.
So, Barwood Services I've had since 2018. It's just a general contracting company. We serve commercial clients, residential property management companies. We don't do a lot with homeowners. Not saying that we don't do any, but we do still work for homeowners, primarily though the commercial side. 2 years ago, I found the opportunity to have the franchise for Metro Detroit for Go Nano. It's a nanosilica, petroleum-based. How do I put this? We say it extends the life of building products. Primarily, the number one thing it extends the life of is shingles.
Okay.
So we all know how much roofs cost.
They're a lot. We just got a brand new one.
Exactly.
Hailstorm did us in.
They're not getting cheaper. So, I mean, the average cost of roof replacement's $600, $700, $800 a square, depending on the pitch. You can get your roof treated with Go Nano, extend the life of it by up to 10 to 15 years for $2 a square foot. 200 a square.
I'm gonna have to tell my parents because they're getting their roof done. Is it like a spray?
Yeah, so it's just a simple spray application. Takes a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 if it's a really big roof. Done in one day, no odor, no smell, no mess.
After the roof has been finished, or do you do it when they're reapplying the shingles?
So there's 2 different ways you can do this. If you really want your roof to last more than the 18 to 19 years you're going to get out of a brand new shingle, if you treated it right away with Go Nano, you're going to extend that out past 30 years, guaranteed. And this is proven by IBHS and UL. They've done extensive testing. They're actually in the process of getting their own third-party tests done, because UL and IBHS were like, we can't do any more testing for you because those tests were essentially made for the shingle industry, and the shingle industry does not want us to exist.
Well, of course not, because they're going to take money away
100%.
from the industry.
So, and that's the thing, is that shingles, back when I first started roofing, back when I was 19, we were tearing off roofs that were 40 years old.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I've never torn off, in this day and age, a 40-year-old roof.
Yeah.
And the reason being is that they changed the way they make shingles. They use less bitumen, they use cheaper materials.
And cost more.
It costs even more.
I was going to say, we just spent $30,000 on a brand new roof.
So, $30,000
on a brand new roof. Yeah, for our house.
So
and you guys have been to our house, so it was when we were getting quotes, we were looking at each other like, you've got to be shitting me. $30,000 was on the cheaper side. It went up to like close to 50 for ours, and they told us 20 years is maximum of life expectancy.
Yep.
I thought it was 30.
The package says 30.
Yeah.
But you go ahead and see.
The guy told us 20 years is the most you're going to get.
Yeah. Unless you want to spend even more and get like an SBS shingle that's like almost like a rubberized shingle, then you're going to probably push it out to 35, 40, but now you're at a $60,000 roof.
Yeah.
So what you guys provide, it has to be applied when you're putting on a new roof, or is it for a repair as well?
It's to extend the life of 20-year-old roofs.
Oh, okay.
So that's the thing. Let's say you still have a roof that's in good condition, 20 years old. We can come out there, tune the whole roof up, apply the Go Nano, and you're going to extend the life of that by 10 to 15 more years.
Take his number.
That is
we got his name and number.
It's a
for
no-brainer.
the amount of money we just spent. Yeah, we were.
What
blown
about
away.
a repair? Like if a roof is currently leaking, like in one area, could it be put on the entire roof and then handle that particular leak?
Yeah, so what we do is we come out and do a free roof inspection. We look at the roof. I've been doing it since I was a kid, so I can tell you if your roof is still good. I can tell you if it's not good, you need a new roof. This is not like some magic wand. So let's say you had a leak, we can go up there, replace 1 or 2 square, whatever the case may be, get your roof watertight, and then treat it with the Go Nano.
Oh, that's
it's like a sealant.
It's actually it's a penetrant.
Oh, okay.
So we don't call it a coating because it's not on top.
Okay.
It actually penetrates, and I'm gonna get nerdy on you for a minute. It penetrates the shingles, and it modifies the bitumen and the substrate at a molecular level. It makes the nanosilica makes new chemical bonds, because what happens to shingles is they oxidize, like the roads, the asphalt roads. A brand new parking lot's pitch black when it's first done, right? 3 years later, it's all gray, because it's the sun degrading the chemical bonds. It's an organic compound. So,
well, you definitely got nerdy on us because I don't know any ounce of what you're talking about, but I'm gonna take all of it and be like, yes, I love it. It makes sense.
I'm a big nerd. I don't even care.
That's great.
But when I saw the opportunity to buy the franchise, I took it. I bought the whole Metro Detroit area, all 5 counties. I'm probably going to buy 2 more because there's a massive need in the market for this.
Especially with our weather in Michigan.
Need cement.
Well, this also works on cement and wood.
Oh, so I can actually get it done on a driveway?
We live in the country. Do you understand? Like, we are literally in the country, so we are wide open space to any damage that the weather brings. Right. We are a target. Like, go.
With the concrete, that's one of the cool things about it. If you get the concrete early enough, but when it's still nice and white and there's no stains on it, this seals it at a molecular level. It makes it hydrophobic. You can't get stains on it anymore. Oh. You can't get water intrusion.
Oil.
What's that, oil?
Oil.
It can kind of help with oil stains too. If you get them before the oil stains are on it,
okay.
It'll help with the cleanup issue for sure.
What else does this work for?
I know.
Wood. Trust me.
Like decks. We're about to build a pool deck.
Yep, cedar decks, pressure treated decks, any wood products.
How much does it typically run?
The average cost for the roofing aspect of it's about $2 a square foot, but that can go up or down. Obviously, if it's a really simple, easy roof, we can come down on that price because it's not hard to do. But now I did one yesterday because I still spray the roofs. I'm the guy installing it.
Oh, and you're the owner of the company.
That's amazing. We may get into that in a minute, but like with me and John, it's kind of like Beauty and the Beast. I'm the beast. I'm the guy that still works because the thing is, that's what I like to do.
Yeah.
I've tried to be the owner operator, and obviously, I'm successful enough up to this point, but I've realized what my strengths are.
Nobody can do it like you.
No.
You know
I get that part.
I mean,
it's hard to let go.
If you saw the roof I was walking on yesterday, you'd be like, you're insane.
Yeah. All right. So, John, tell us a little bit about your childhood and then also growing up. How did you even get to the point of owning Go Nano Detroit or Detroit Go Nano?
So I guess we'll go all the way back.
Yeah.
I was born in Montana, lived there until I was 11. My dad grew up on a farm. He used to be what they call a mud logger out in the oil fields because my grandpa was a geologist for BP. So my dad was out there in the middle of Wyoming, Montana, wherever, doing like core samples to see if that hole would produce oil. So my dad he's been a worker his whole life. So then we moved from Montana at 11 to Minneapolis because my parents were property managers for mobile homes. So then we moved to Minneapolis, lived there for about a year and a half, moved to Madison Heights, lived there for about a year and a half, then we ended up in Mount Clemens. And I've lived in Mount Clemens pretty much the rest of my life.
So Dave, you came from Montana to... Where was the next?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Again?
So, how did you go from Montana, Minnesota to Michigan? We'll look at all the M's.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, all the M's. All the north. It's always cold.
How did you get all the way to Michigan? You guys love snow, clearly.
No, so like I said, my parents were property managers for mobile home parks. So when they got an opportunity to leave Montana to go be actual property managers, not just like assistant managers, the company put them in Minnesota for a year and a half, got their feet wet there, and then they were planning on buying this 800 site community up in Clinton Township, just like literally right over the border from Mount Clemens. So they moved them to Madison Heights to a smaller property while this one was being purchased, and then they moved them to
So it was all for work.
It was all for work.
All for work.
Yep, just for work. So
why else do you come to Michigan unless it's like family or work?
That's very valid.
Up north is beautiful. You know, it's one of the top 5 destinations in the world.
Oh, I love
it's
up
Traverse
north.
City.
And that's a problem, I think, with us, like in Detroit Metro City. People forget we have a west side of the state that is undeniably gorgeous. Like the water over there, Grand Haven and South Haven, and then you go up to like Traverse City area, and the water in Traverse City is like crystal clear, beautiful. Torch Lake. Torch Lake is one of our favorites.
I mean,
that's my favorite.
That's his favorite, Torch Lake. We love Torch Lake. We try to get there. Our son has a lot of baseball tournaments on the west side of the state, so anytime we get an opportunity to go to Torch Lake or South Haven or Grand Haven, it is a weekend stay long because it's gorgeous. And I think we forget, one of our bucket lists is to do like how you do like the outer part of the entire state and all the beaches. Like that's one of our bucket lists to do that. So coming to Michigan, how old were you when you guys came to Michigan?
Excuse me. So I think 13. I think I was 13 when we finally
that was like middle school age. How was that?
I came in at like the tail end of 7th grade. Didn't know anybody. I was tired of moving, tired of losing all my friends.
I was going to say, that's a tough age.
Yeah, and it was, I mean, I was born in Billings, Montana. It's kind of a culture shock to a point, moving from Montana to a metro area. It just, you're just like, oh, so this is the real world.
This is life.
This is life. You know, lots of different people, lots of different, personalities.
So you said St. Clair Shores? Or no?
No,
Mount Clemens.
I'm sorry,
Mount Clemens.
Clinton Township.
Clinton Township. So where'd you end up going to, like, where would you go to elementary school and high school?
Elementary was in Montana, and then middle school was everywhere else. I went to Mount Clemens High School.
And what was that like for you?
It was fun. I didn't have to try.
I was gonna say, like, we talk about the real shit. So how fun was it?
It was fun. I mean, I learned a lot of things. I should have gotten in a lot more trouble doing the things that I was doing, but I was smart, didn't get caught.
Let's talk about that.
What about learning how to be a hustler?
Hustling what?
We like to hear about the bad stuff.
Things that are legal now that I got in trouble for.
Okay, I got
and I wish I could get all my court fees back and my lawyer fees back for.
We got it.
No, we got you. So
well, guess what's coming up, guys?
What?
10 days.
Oh, it is 420.
Oh, yeah.
420's in 10
I may
days.
or may not imbibe, I don't know. But
so what was your family life like? Do you have siblings or?
Yeah, I got an older brother and a younger brother.
Oh, all boys. You're
all
poor,
boys,
Mom.
and I have all girls.
Go figure.
I have all 3 girls.
Yeah.
So I got revenge for what.
You sure did, because listen.
We always get it back.
Yep.
Boys aren't. Our youngest is 2, and our oldest is 18. Our boys, and I don't remember our 18-year-old doing half the shit our 2-year-old does.
It's a whole different
I'm like, what is happening? So boys are no joke. But
No.
you definitely got the girls. What are your girls' ages?
So I have a 15-year-old going on a 13-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Oh.
Whoops.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily whoops, but
We were not planning.
Well, I mean,
my youngest one, it was a whoops.
Because
we were free and clear. We're like, oh man, the kids are going into high school.
Yeah.
Get our lives
but you have
back.
teenage girls.
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Whew.
I know.
We have a 12.
My oldest one's starting to drive.
Teenage girls.
Yeah.
So your teenage girls are older.
Yeah.
So you have like
they're 16 and 18.
16 and 18.
So, but
we have an 11-year-old girl, and sometimes I'm like, literally, my husband will look at me like, why are you arguing with her? And I'm like, because I'm arguing with a miniature version of myself.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Do you not understand that? Like,
Yep.
it's not the same.
My oldest Olivia, she is me. And when we start arguing, my wife's just like, shut up. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
Dave, did you go to college out of high school?
Yeah, so I actually went to Northwood University. I was actually going to do, what do they call it? Management Information Systems.
Okay.
So it's basically
Stop. Explain that, because that's a whole.
So-
you're getting nerdy on me
It's
again.
like IT.
Well, it's essentially IT. It's almost like computer programming mixed with accounting. So you'd be more like a systems administrator. You'd set up accounting systems. I did BPA my whole high school career.
Okay.
So I've always been into business. I knew how to
BPA,
You see?
Business Professionals of America.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known what that
I
was.
would never meet another person.
Did you know that?
I had no idea.
I had no idea.
We literally had
Do you
competitions
remember
on who
Miss
could.
Satterley?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she was like the big person over there. We went to high school.
They went to
together.
high school
You remember
together.
though? There was literally competitions on who could.
Yes, I used to go to the competition.
Balance the books.
So while
Faster
you were
and better.
hustling in high school on the stuff that's now legal, you were a part of the BPA.
Yeah.
He's learning how to start his
That's the
business.
best
And
You
thing
were
ever.
starting the hustle business back
I read
then.
Rich Dad Poor Dad at 20.
oh, did you?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
That's a great book.
That is
It
a
is.
great. No,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Will
So
loves that
was
book.
Detroit Go Nano your first business?
no, this is actually my third business.
Okay.
Tell
Well,
us about your
Barwood is
My second business.
Yeah,
I had a
Barwood's
business
the
in my
parent,
20s.
and then Go Nano is the
Yep.
child goes. So
Essentially.
what was the first one?
The first one it was called STN Service, second to none. We started that. I started it with one of my good friends who's not here anymore. Started that with him off of our paychecks. We essentially we got some contracts refurbing mobile homes for the community operators, and we still had full-time jobs. So we were using our checks to finance the materials, and he had a friend and I had a friend who we essentially were like, hey, you guys want a job? And so we basically built this little business, and it got really big really quick.
Oh, really?
And then we both quit our jobs and started doing that full time.
So did that lead into Barwood?
Yeah, I had that from 23 to about 30, 31 at the end of filing bankruptcy.
Okay.
We got way too big, way too fast. Overhead, insurance, taxes, it just killed us. So my parents had to file bankruptcy as well because my dad was one of my partners.
Okay.
And he put up a decent amount of money along with us, but at the end of the day, I basically lost all my drive. I had no
It's a burnout.
straight up burnout. I almost got a divorce, almost lost my wife and kids because I didn't know how to handle. It went from me being like, I'm the man, I'm 26 years old, we're grossing 1.8 million a year. You can't tell me anything.
Yeah.
And
Especially at that age.
Yeah, that's young.
right, and it hurts to think about it, to be honest, but I'm past that now. It made me a better person.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
because now when I started my second business, Barwood, like I was telling her before the show here, I swore off contracting. I swore off running my own business. I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want nothing to do with, being the man in charge of this. I want to go work for somebody. I'm really good at what I do. I barely lost any income compared to what I was making as a business owner. So I went and basically worked for other people for 4 years. Went to the union. One of the last jobs I had before I left the union was the Wayne State dorms. I was there for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I went to Wayne State.
I hung thousands. I hung thousands of sheet of drywall over there.
Wow.
Literally framed out walls. Had some safety gigs with my buddy. He has a safety company. I worked at Zug Island for U.S. Steel. Did a safety gig there. Worked for a chemical manufacturing plant as their head maintenance guy.
So at what age did you just start doing, like, I guess handyman work or different things?
So all through high school, my dad was a maintenance manager. So I would always go work with him. He taught me how to paint, how to frame. He taught me the basics of like carpentry. And then when I came back from college, he's like, you want to go make some money? And so he put me in contact with a property manager that he knew that needed some houses refurbed. And that's how I started.
There you go.
And it was trial by fire. I mean, I was already decent at what I knew how to do, and I just got better and better and better. I'm a quick learner.
I'm sorry. So talking about like that period of life that you don't want to talk about, we're going to talk about it for
that's
a
fine.
minute.
Yep.
So going into that period, what was the turning point for you to realize like this shit it's not it? Like my family, my wife. Where was that moment that you realized it was going south?
The bills, all the credit card debt.
Did you know about that stuff
It wasn't. This didn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
It was a slow burn. The turning point that kind of put the nail in the coffin was we lost a $700,000 a year client.
Oh wow.
Which is damn near half of our gross at the time. And so then it was scramble time.
Yeah.
We got to find new clients. And when I lost that, what's the craziest part about that story is that the year before they dropped me, they gave me Contract of the Year award at a huge banquet and a big crystal
At
memento.
26.
So what was the
by
reason
the
for
way,
dropping?
we're dropping you.
Yeah, what was the reason?
They pulled me into a meeting, me and my dad and my project manager, Scott. And they're like, we give you pretty much all the work here for our like 6 different properties. They're like, we want you to cut your prices 10% across the board. And I'm like, so you want me to cut my profit 10% across the board? I was like,
family.
I had 16 employees. I had a shop. I had five vans on the road. Like,
Wow.
I told
That's
myself,
a
I'll
lot
give you the
to
best
ask.
price. And it all ended up being because the new sales and marketing director wanted to get her husband in.
Yeah, someone else. Yeah.
And they literally just
See, it
pushed us
all
out.
makes sense when it comes full circle.
But I bet, what did that teach you though? Because it's always a learning
There's
lesson.
always a lesson in the text,
Yeah,
a
and then that
testimony
helps
in the
you.
test.
Yeah,
the lesson
next one.
is don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, for sure.
Just like when you're investing, diversify. Don't, I mean, unless you really know it's for sure, do not put everything in one basket, because that's what we pretty much did at that time. They were our bread and butter. It was just literally just nonstop work. And then overnight, when you just shut that spigot off, it's scramble time. And that's another part of the stress of the whole business. Not just that, but like when money was tight, like I have anywhere from 10 to 15 people to pay every week.
Yeah.
And that payroll, like my wife would stay up at night, I'd stay up at night. I'm sitting here at 11:30, 12 o'clock at night every single night doing estimates and invoicing to make sure things were flowing.
Yeah.
So and that's why. Well, no, I would say that just adds an incredible amount of stress, not only on you but on your wife and family.
She was my general manager because like she literally did all my books. She did the estimate, not the estimating, but she would schedule estimates. She would schedule jobs. So it really kind of fractured our marriage because I was so hyper focused on trying to make this business work. So
and that's why. Well, for me, that what it tells me and what I go by is you can't never really just stop. You can't never just stop and just think everything's all good, everything's good to go. I'm going on vacation for a month. I'm not gonna worry about nothing.
I mean, I'd love to go on vacation.
I wish I got on vacation for a month.
You got to keep that business coming in. You can't depend on that one client.
So how did you guys like regroup from that? Like number one within your marriage, but number two within business, because that's a lot of stress.
I stopped being an asshole that thought he knew everything. And I mean,
that's a great step.
It is.
Great step.
It was, because you can ask my wife. She's like, you're a fucking monster. And that's John knows I'm the nicest person to probably. I mean, I'll give you the shirt off my back. But when it came to that relationship, like, she hated me. All because I was trying to build this. I thought I was doing the right thing. But I was ignoring my kids, my wife, everything. Like, I wasn't even like growing my own self inside and the things that mattered in life. I was just so hyper focused on get to the check, invoice. So
and you don't realize it sometimes in that moment.
No.
You're focused.
I'm 20 something years old. Like, no one gives you a manual.
Not when you're making that kind of money. Like you don't, because you just think about what's next.
Yeah,
like,
what's next? Where's the next client? What's the next job?
But things like that happening help you to put things in perspective.
Absolutely.
100%, because I'm a much better man now. I'm a much better husband now. I'm a much better father now because of those hard lessons that I had to learn. Yeah. All the lessons in my life have been hard. Not so much anymore.
Dave, can you tell me the most wild, crazy client story that you've had thus far with all the clients?
I mean, think deep on this one. You got lots of years experience.
I'll just tell you, we were at an apartment complex in Pontiac. I'll preface this, but I've worked for years in Detroit, all over Detroit, west side, south side, east side. You name a side, I've been in Detroit working. We were at an apartment complex in Pontiac, and a robbery happened in the unit next door to where the unit we were painting. I was 2 doors down. I had a painter in the one unit, and all of a sudden gunshots go off. My guy runs out to the stoop and looking around, and a dude comes out the unit with the ski mask on and puts the gun in his face. And he just dropped his paint, and then all of a sudden him and 2 other guys ran out of that unit, ran down the parking lot, and jumped a 10-foot brick wall.
What? Your parents jumped the brick wall?
No, the guys that robbed the house.
Oh, wow.
The unit next to where we were working jumped a 10-foot wall, but they put a gun in Sergio's face before they ran away.
That's scary.
That is
that's the craziest story.
We have some crazy real estate stories.
I'm sure. I can tell you disgusting stories of like houses that I've been in. You've all seen all that, I'm sure.
Oh, listen, our couple last guests walked into a house that had a bunch of dead cats on display.
I was listening to that podcast. The guy where said he was showing. It was in the garage, and it was like not Michael Myers, but like Signs of the Lambs stuff.
Dead cats. I really wanted to know what he talked about these bins, and I'm like, I just want to know what's in the bins. So I'm sure we could. I actually, the funny thing is, I just showed a house a couple weeks ago. It's not weird or gross, but they had this record player system that came out of the wall in their basement. That's and cool. I was blown away. I'm like, it literally, they had a whole sound speaker in their basement and the record system came out of their wall. And I'm like,
I want that.
That's different.
That's cool. Because nowadays, selling a house, they're like, what is this? And I'm like, man, how, can you do some turntables with that? That was pretty sweet. That's crazy. That's so cool. Dealing with, everything that you've been through, all your experiences, you have a partnership with Real Producers.
Yep.
What has that been like for you, and how has that impacted your business?
I really didn't know what it was until it came across my desk. Got an email. I don't know, was it Tara?
Yeah.
Tara
and her husband.
Yep.
He contacted me. He pitched me on it. And I'm kind of in the real estate space. If you think about it, I mean, I'm not an investor per se, but I work for commercial property managers. I've worked for numerous investors in the city of Detroit. I'm in the real estate industry, just a different side. I serve the real estate industry.
Yeah.
So when he explained what it was and the networking abilities, and that's why I kind of like I said earlier about the beauty and the beast thing, like he's beauty and I'm the beast. John has so much more business acumen than me, and like he really, and this is like when you choose a partner, this is why you choose them, is because they fill that void that you can't fill. You know, and that's when a partnership's really great, is when you both complement each other and you have each other's backs and you have each other's blind spots. So I know that I have to network with more people. I got to get the name out there. I got to get the product out there. I got to educate more people on it. So that's why I chose Real Producers to advertise with and to be a partner with. How it's affected us so far, I'm here on the podcast. So
we're so happy.
It's good exposure. We've been to a couple events so far. Again, I'm a guy that just fix shit, and I fix shit and I build shit. So I have to kind of, John has to kind of drag me to some of these things, and I'm like, because it's not what I do. But I know it's an important part of building our brand and building our business. So I just have to kind of.
Well, you can at least say the RPR podcast was a great experience.
100%.
Tons of fun. We talked about a lot of fun shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yep.
Sure. So my question is, what would you tell your younger self if you could go back?
Slow down and ask more questions.
That's a good one.
Have some humility.
Okay.
Ego can take you so far, but ego can kill you. It can ruin you if you don't keep it in check.
I think that's such great advice, especially for the generation coming up underneath us, because we have an 18-year-old, and the stuff that he has in the, I don't want to say entitlement, but
entitlement is the word.
There is a
for
level, like, and I hate to say it because I'm his parent, but there's a level of entitlement. So to hear that advice is amazing, because it's needed for these younger generations.
No one
they have no idea.
No one knows. You got to earn it.
Yeah.
The entitlement stuff needs to go.
Yeah.
Because no one owes you anything.
But it's like with this generation, they kind of have everything handed to them.
They do.
We have to research and find it and grab a dictionary or encyclopedia.
We used to actually have to open a book and look it up and find it.
Yeah.
Now you
figure
just
it
pull
out
out your phone and you're the smartest
GPT.
person. Oh my God,
he's
I love
a straight A student because of Chat GPT. And I remember having to go to the library and they're like, find the encyclopedia, Britannica or whatever, and I'm like, what number is it? Like, I don't even know. So it's it's a whole different generation. So that's amazing advice, and we thank you so much for taking the time to be here.
Thank you guys for having me on.
Yes.
I'm sure we could get into some deep stories.
But I'll come back.
I would love it.
What about, did you have a story? Why don't you tell us?
John's next.
Yeah, John's he's got some stories.
I thought it was Mike.
No, John, he is Mike. So we're about to talk to John Leonard, who is going to be next on the podcast, who is business partners with Dave Barrett. So is there anything else that you would like to just put out there? Plug your business.
Yeah, for sure.
Your kids, say hi.
Hi to the
girls.
Hi, honey. Hi, kids. I love you. And again, if you want to extend the life of your roof and save a bunch of money, go to our website, www.detroitgonano.com. We have a little, on our contact us page, you can get a quote in less than 20 seconds.
Love it.
For a new roof or Gonano.
We're going to be calling you, don't worry.
We don't just spray stuff on roofs. We are a GAF certified contractor. We give the 50-year system plus warranty.
Okay.
We are roofers.
And I'm a property manager, just so you know.
Yeah.
So.
Listen,
I'm gonna get your information.
And you'll be coming to our house soon too.
Awesome. I look forward to it.
So go check them out, guys. Everybody that's getting new roof, new deck, new sidewalk. I know a lot of people are getting that new sidewalk in for the summer.
Yeah.
The weather's starting to warm up. So thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning back into the Real Estate People and Real Estate Podcast. We'll see you later. Peace.
Bye.
Peace. Bye.